Oh, what is up? What is up, everybody? Happy Sunday morning. Already on, already on my bullshit. Matt Verzal here, hanging out with you on Husker Hangover, the last one of the year. Unfortunately, hope you had a happy Thanksgiving with you and yours. I had a great time with my family. Got a nice day off. Got to not be at work for a little bit, which was awesome. So, hope you had a good one. Oh, the Black Friday game. Nebraska loses to Iowa once again, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. what a game. What a setup. What a deal. What a way to end it for the first year of the Matt Rule regime. Nebraska is a 5-win team, unable to make it to a bowl game. I think I just read Jacksonville State, Minnesota, and James Madison will fill they're 3 teams short to make the bowls balance out all 41 of them. Jesus Christ, that is a lot of bowl games. But we are not one of those, so we do not have to worry about that. Jay Foreman won't be able to join us today, but we have messages out to Hoskinson and Taylor. If you want to get their view on some stuff, go ahead and hit them up at Skr62 and at Outland 1997, so we can get them on board for today. Little Twitter harassment, X harassment, whatever you want to call it. Shoot them a look. To have that thing end the way it did, as well as things were going for a time for Nebraska, is pretty disheartening. To say the least. Not that anybody doesn't know that or understand that. You had a whole bunch going right. Yeah. The month of October, everything's going great. I mean, you're playing well. You're not playing the best teams in the world, but you're playing well. Teams that end up finding some way to get themselves bowl eligible. I tried the best I could to make excuses. You got Michigan State on senior day. You had X, Y, and Z with Maryland. It's just games. It's games good teams win. It's games teams that are a couple years down the road figure out. Northwestern's on an interim coach. I mean, it isn't like they had a coach that had been established there for 100 years. I've forgotten the schedule, probably mercifully for my own brain. I can't remember, so I got to go back and take a look at it. Nebraska's website, by the way, absolutely horrible. Their athletic department website is terrible. Oh, Wisconsin. I hate navigating the site. I hate it more than anything in the world. If they could just make it easier to access the stats and things that you want to look at instead of the dumb bullshit drop downs that they have, but that's a different story for a different day. Quarterback play wasn't bad in the game. I mean, offensive line play seemed to be a little bit better. It fell apart at crucial times. I live it. By the way, congratulations to all the coaches and the players were on state championship games or state championship winning teams. Congratulations to all the teams that got second as well. It's a hell of a year. It's a hell of an accomplishment to get there. It was fun to be a part of it. I don't know how many of you tuned in. I got to call the Tuesday game, so I had C1, C2, and A. So I got to watch a bunch of stuff go down in that, and then I got to watch 2 of my buddies have a Twitter fight. So that's always interesting when the fellas get after those guys, get after each other. It wasn't. It was the game was what we thought it was going to be. Nebraska held to 75 yards rushing, 2.5 yards a carry. Passing yards, we had 10 total first downs. Iowa had 14 passing yards. It's not bad. It's not great. 12.6 per reception. Total offense 264. It's crazy for me to look at that, read it, and see 264. 264 yards of total offense. That should be your goal for like a half with what everybody else is doing. Some soul searching probably needs to happen, in the off season, and figure out rules made it stand. He protects his guys. He feels he's a coach developer, which is fine. Oh, you can do those things. That's great. You want to take young coaches and give them opportunity and mold them and show them what to do, and away you go. Except Tony White, you cannot do that for Tony White. He needs to stay here. I didn't. I probably should have posted it. Actually, no. Before we get to that, a couple dumb things that I saw that were said pre and post game. One was, once again, the defense falls apart at the end, and the person said, "Don't get me wrong, the defense is what kept them in games, but at crucial times they fell apart when they needed them." Bitch, they're tired. Like, they play twice the amount of snaps in the offense, and I know the condition, I know they do all that stuff, but you're gonna have a breakdown. Like you're gonna have something fall apart. It's just so unfortunate that it was at that time of the game. It get really disappointed in some of these Nebraska media guys. Then I had another dumbass say that the 15 extra practices was really overblown. It's not that big of a deal. I'm gonna say this as clearly as I can. Bullshit. If I had any technological skill, I'd find that little buddy that sits in the backseat of that car and goes, "Bullshit, a bullshit." Like, people that say that don't know. Like, I'll straight up tell you, you don't know what you're talking about. You have no clue. You can't fathom anything. So you're telling me that if you do something, if I go play golf for 2 weeks fucking straight, I'm going to get better. Straight up. I will get better at the game of golf. So for you to put out an asinine statement that says that 2 weeks of practice isn't going to benefit you, I can't help you. And you should probably quit covering it, because you're just clueless. You have no idea what you're talking about at all. And that's facts. Straight up. But the game itself, it was what everybody thought it was. Nebraska's defense played good. Iowa's defense played good. Special teams was what it was. The punt game was good. I mean, there's no grandiose thing. We all watched that debacle. There's times where we got to take advantage of stuff, and you got to be able to score points. You just have to. Time of possession, which I thought could be a factor. I got real nervous in the first quarter. Iowa had it for 10 minutes. We had it for 4. Oh, shit. Here we go. Second quarter, Iowa had it for 11. We had it for 3. I was like, this is bad. This is really bad. Nebraska flipped the script around in the second half a little bit, but you got the huge pass to Lloyd. So you see glimpses of like what things can be. The main root cause of it, or root issue with everybody, I think, to a man, is offensive coordinator and play calls. I mean, you have some weapons. You don't have a ton of weapons. So now you have to get creative. Fedoni has to be a part of your game plan ongoing. He has to. Your running backs did as best as they could. They did. Your young receivers made big play. One of them was, I think, was the second or first longest play against Iowa for the whole season. So you have that. It's a positive thing. Took a shot, which you like to do, and just chuck the ball down the field as far as you can. And you run fast, angle in, angle out, or just run straight ahead. I'm going to throw it up in the air and see if you can get it. Those are great when you complete them, but you can't make a steady living off of those. That can't be the basis of your offense. I didn't put out a tweet. I thought I did, but I didn't. And then after the fact, it was too late. But here was my to-do list for the offseason. Number 1 was double Tony White's salary. Okay. in the hope that you keep him. Okay? In that hope. But to make sure he knows that you appreciate everything he's done. Okay? Defensive guys. Talked to a guy last night, I was a friend of a friend, friends with the same friend, but I just hadn't talked to said friend. And the Kelsey brothers was like, you don't understand what they've accomplished with that defense. You can never, and this is just the tip of the iceberg for what that defense can do. So taking guys that you inherited and then being able to turn around and come and be able to produce the way you were on the field. The defense is on the come up. From Michigan State on out, you give up 20, 10, 24 to Wisconsin, and 13 to Iowa. In the current state of college football, those are winnable games if your offense has any competency at all. Any. You should be able to do that. But anyway, that was number one. Number two for me was establish a plan for an offensive identity. And I'm saying nobody leaves there. And if I take the coach at his word and he says nobody's going anywhere, coordinator staying, everybody's good, great. Then here's what I need you to do as a fan. I need you to sit in a room with your offensive staff until somebody comes up with an identity. They say, this is what we are going to do. This is what we are going to be good at. I don't care what it is. I really don't, except run 40 yards, chuck it up in the air. That can't be your offensive identity. Cannot be. But anything else outside of that, I'm good with. If you want to go 2 by 2 and throw quick, cool. If you want to try to zone read and be physical, like we said, cool. But just, I would like to know what your identity is. What does your identity look like? How are you going to accomplish your identity? Because I think that helps the fan out a ton when we watch it. Okay. Number 3 was recruit and portal to fit your offensive identity. Defense has an identity. They know what they're doing. They know what they want to accomplish. They know all that stuff. They have a plan. They go at it. So portal and recruit to fit your offensive identity. Number 3, another offseason of training and probably as much mental training as physical training to fit your offensive identity. Train in the offseason physically. Figure out some form of mental training to fit your offensive identity. Did I think in year 1 they would be able to eliminate a lot of the humps that they had? Because they did get over some of them. They did not get over some glaring ones. We'll talk about the glaring. But I said it early in the year. I'm going to say it again, unfortunately, at the end of the year. You've got to rewire the brain of some of your players. You've got to rewire how they view things, how they think about things. I don't know if I've talked about it on here, but Nebraska has an in-house psychology department. In the past, the trust in that has been violated from a player standpoint. If you go and talk to a psychologist, you're under the assumption that they're not going to go tell your coach. In the past, that has happened where the psychologist told the position coach or the head coach what was going on. Little players don't trust that, so take that out. Move it out of the building. Guys, here's where you can go. We have no connection with any of these. We cannot talk, we cannot mention, we cannot do anything with them. And then number 5 on my list, I just had a top 5 to-do list, was double Tony White's salary. Period. End of statement. Easy breezy. Pay him 1.5 a year. He is your highest paid assistant coach because he deserves it. Because what his portion of the game and how he coached it kept you from getting into games that could have gotten real ugly and didn't. They actually put you in a spot where you could win. So those are my main things to accomplish in the offseason. Brian says, morning verse. This might be a bit long for your liking, but shocker, this is what you do. But so is this freaking season, so deal with it. What top 5 things do you want to see happen? I just did that. Here's mine. 1, pay Coach White whatever he wants to pay. Copied mine. 2, quarterbacks from the portal. I get it. I would edit that one to be better diligence on the quarterbacks you're going to get out of the portal. 3's a new OC. If not, put Satterfield on a short leash in 24. 4, hit the portal for studs on the O-line and D-lines in depth. 5, hire a consultant to teach a rule about clock management. The clock management thing, yeah, I get it. It's a skill. Everybody kind of has their way that they want to do it. If you've got a top 5, hit it in the comments. We'll read them off. Just to kind of see where everybody's at. There are things they can be better at. I think they have enough guys on staff to do that. Put Ron Brown in charge of it. I'm not sure what his role is, but give him something to do. You should have an assistant there that can handle that, or somebody up in the box. I don't think your analysts can be on the field, but they can be in the box. Have an analyst do that. Have them help you manage that. Hey, look at a timeout here. It's okay if we run it 3 times before the half and get out of here. I'd agree with that. I don't know if you want to hire somebody or consult. I get a consultant. Anytime you get a consultant, you're going to pay somebody to make them give you their expertise. I don't mind that list, Brian. John says, Rule might not want to fire Satterfield, but he should be trying very hard to find another job for him. But if he stays, he better be taking a huge pay cut. Pay cut ain't happening. Leash is short. Will be short. Some guys that I thought would be friends of mine, former guys, thought would be a lot harder on that. Kind of said they were fine with another year due to the early deficiencies in the offensive line and the fact that your real quarterback or the guy that probably you would like to see now that we've seen everybody play was the one that was the most hurt. But then a guy sitting at the bar at Paisan said, why are we trusting them? They had the guy that liked to dribble the ball as the first teamer. So maybe talent evaluation is not their strong suit, which I thought was a great point. Nothing against any of the kids. Just got on the stage and couldn't perform. That's the way it goes. I lived through that on a Monday night. That's the way it happens. Sorry, this Thanksgiving weekend restaurant is just long and weird. So your boy is fatigued. But yeah, pay cuts aren't happening. I think some serious discussions need or probably need to take place at positions. Raiola, I think his crew got better by the end, except on a couple little things that, again, my guys couldn't handle in their game we played on Monday. But if you have a play that's not originally designed to go in your direction, you have to get into a man position. If the ball's on the right, you need to be the next closest thing to the ball, not the defender. We got beat across the face a couple times in situations that if you accomplish that job, then you're able to get 4 or 5 more yards. Those to me are technique and effort things. Should be able to cross and I'm just going to say this, a stagnant defensive lineman. Like, not a guy that's on a twist, not a guy that's on a stunt. You're not picking up a blitz. It's just you versus him. You have to just be in a position where it's ball, you, man. I'll steal a basketball term because we're already in that dumb sport. But Nebraska's undefeated, by the way, so that's cool. Walter, a little more harsh, says, fire that blithering idiot Satterfield immediately. Nebraska's offense had more turnovers than TDs. Northwestern win total beginning of the season was 3. They won 7. Those are all Walters right in a row. Rules come out and said he's not going to fire. I do think the way they'll probably spin it, if he is not with the program next year, is that he found a better opportunity. I don't know what that may be. This is an if. I'm not saying he is, not saying he isn't. But if he's gone, it will be in that aspect. They will say, hey, here's how we're doing this. Here's how it's going to go. The McGuire kid, I don't know. You got people, I don't know if they can throw the ball to your guy. To start, the guy by the end could spin it pretty good. But then you're into offensive line breakdowns, and so McGuire, he gets a reprieve, a stay, if you will. Those things are easy to do. We will be active in the portal. I told you first show out of the gate, don't get attached to any players. Don't get attached to anybody because they're going to flip the roster again. They're going to take guys that we probably all like, maybe even made some plays this year. They may not be with the team next year. That's just a fact. That's just the way it goes. They feel they got to add talent to the roster. Who am I to argue? You're a team that had 4 games to win 1. You went over. Part of it's coaching, part of it's players. So if you get some different players, you can try it and see what happens. It is what it is. Walter also chimes in, minus 17 turnover margin for the season, second worst in college football. Yeah. We moved up from the worst to second to worst. It's a terrible category to be even in that realm of. Because that, even though we do not show that we are able to do it, that is a correctable thing. That is something you can fix through repetition, through focus, through point of emphasis, through whatever buzzword you want to use. All those things you can make good on. The one at the end, the interception, you have to tip your cap to Iowa. Unfortunately, they blitzed the linebacker and dropped a linebacker back into the hole, which is in the middle of the field. Just an easy drop for a middle. They almost, some flip hips and turn and run backwards, some backpedal into it, however you want to get there. But so now you make it to the quarterback has to throw over a linebacker and in front of a secondary to get you into the middle of the field. It's something I think 70% of quarterbacks in college football are going to see. At that time in the game, you can't make that throw. You can't give the ball back. And we had an interesting run of things happen in the game. You had the Maryland game where you probably play for a field goal at the time to get yourself the lead. Wisconsin, you play for the win because you're on the road. And Iowa, you honestly play for the tie. You play to get to overtime because you're at home. Defense has been playing good. Probably need to get them a little break. But those are all situational things that happen at the end of the season. And Nebraska was unable to come away victorious in any of those situations. Maryland, you threw an interception down the goal line. Wisconsin, you got to overtime and you weren't able to do anything, but you had a chance to go down, score, and win in regulation. And then Iowa, you have the ball and you're driving, and in the middle of the field is susceptible. I think the middle is a great place to be if it fits. But your quarterback has to see that linebacker lurking there. It isn't your original linebacker that you're trying to make your or that you saw when you snap the ball. But a body is a body. Doesn't matter how they got there. And he was camped on it, like he was waiting for it. So those things can't happen. John says it is 15 practices for the season that may be missed, but it's 105 practices since 2016. Yeah. John with quick math on a Sunday morning. Because it's been that long. It's 7 years. We are now the longest drought of a Power 5 team to go to a bowl game. David says, Brian, we need to get an actual QB coach. Sat isn't getting it done. Rule said he isn't getting a new OC. Sat is his friend, and he was here for at least the next season. I don't keep up on that. So David may be hitting something. I didn't think Satterfeld and Rule knew each other. I thought he was just kind of an up and coming guy. And he was, this was the next step for him to go. Could be. WBD3 says Utah was down to their fifth string quarterback yesterday. They ran the ball 51 times, passed it 10. Sat gets flusher with 3-yard rushes. There's truth to that. It ain't the prettiest around, but Utah being where Utah is and Nebraska being where Nebraska is are two completely opposite ends of the spectrum. Utah has depth. Whittingham knows that running the ball is of the utmost importance. Playing great defense is not too far behind that. He's able to accomplish them both. One of our favorite stories, a guy I get to work with during football season. Number 11 for a half of football, handed that bad boy off. He had a great offensive line, and he had a great running back, and you were playing a top 5, I believe, team in the country. You just imposed your will. You did it your way. You did it how you had to. Bradley says, does anyone believe MS will out-scheme a Big Ten DC? Absolutely not. Can't and won't move on from him. That's, God damn it. I hate when my friends are right out of the gate. I told you. A former running back, 1996 Orange Bowl MVP, said that's the weak link. That's the one everybody's got questions about. Followed up with a buddy of mine at one of the recruiting services, one of the analytics services. He said, like, that's the question mark. We understand all the hires except that one. A small glimmer of hope, though, if Tony White does get a job, because another one that he would have ties to opened up. San Diego State was the first one. New Mexico, I believe he coached at New Mexico. The Lobos. But Dino Babers is available. The old Syracuse head coach, worked with Tony White. Probably a guy that if White does move on, you can reach out to Dino and see if he wants to come navigate your offense or your defense. So I understand Rule's statement of, hey, go get a job, pay him enough money to make sure it's the right job and then some. Pay him enough money where you entertain him as a DC, and it's as good as being a head coach at a mid-range Power 5. And Nebraska can do that. They have the money to do that. So I hope they do. JJ says, starting tomorrow, any player on that team They might even touch the ball next season. Needs to be issued their own football, and it needs to be in their hands at all times, like the egg experiment. I think we suggested that like mid-season, my guy. Like I think we suggested. I suggested carrying them around campus, and if any student walks back to the football offices with the ball, they get free tuition. They'd be bruised, but they'd hold on to the ball. Ken says if they welcome Purdy back, they need to have his eyes checked to make sure he knows what color jersey Nebraska is wearing. That game-losing interception was pathetic and just so wrong at every possible level. It was. It filters into a couple things that I've thought for quite a while that they're telling him where to throw it. Meaning, in practice all week, it's like, hey, you're going to run this play action fake. This linebacker's going to bite in and try to come up on this ball. You'll throw it right over the top. It'll be wide open in the middle. If you're playing in a vacuum, yeah. But defensive coordinators get paid to make calls. I was defensive coordinator, made a call. Nebraska wasn't able to overcome it. Just the way it goes. For us. Comments are buzzing today. Dave says, my top 5-star for the length. Pay what it would take to keep him here. I'm in. It's great. All of our number ones are lining up. Number 2, strip Satterfield of QB coach duties and hire a competent, proven QB coach, preferably someone who played the position and not just wrote a dissertation on the position. If you do that, David, though, like George Darlington would never have been here. I started up hucking coffee for the coaches. Number 3, reevaluate your identity on offense and make it suitable for the Big Ten. Agree with that one. 4, you need to get at least one competent QB game manager at minimum from the portal. Let the QB coach get him, not sat. 5, recruit to your needs. This is a long one. Recruit to your needs and do it at a high level. Well, it must continue on then. Yeah, that's. I think so far we're all probably in lockstep with that. We got the carrot dangled in front of our face. We saw what it could be. We saw that we could be pretty good. It's ugly, but it's winning. So take that. And then to have it all taken away. Now, Purdy is not 100%. So they still he's got to have surgery, I believe, and they'll probably hopefully do that sooner than later. On his groin, I think somewhere I read that his parents were even surprised that he played in the first game that he played in. So get him 100% healthy and then see what it is. The quarterback coach, if you want to do that, you're going to have to figure out who to get rid of. I know Martin, the tight end coach, the analyst service that I talked to, Martin was really like highly touted, like a good up and coming coach. So where are you going to find that out? If you can kill 2 birds with one stone and your OC is your quarterback coach, cool. If not, and the way it breaks down, you're going to have to, I don't know, maybe one of your analysts takes over the tight end, or maybe you got an analyst that's a quarterback coach. I don't know who our analysts are. I don't know. So I don't mind that. It's just you to do that, you're going to have to give up something else. So you got to figure out what you're going to give up. Steve says, how patient has Matt Rule been previously with assistants who are struggling? Has he moved on from non-performance? Very patient. Like I said, he wants to be a guy that grooms and almost like a place where guys can come in, learn how to lead, learn how to develop themselves and develop players, and then they move on and they go get head coaching jobs. Like that's kind of his MO. Good with that. The reason I'm good with it is that if that's the way you want to do it, you have to then have a guy in waiting. You have to have someone that can be ready to go. So there could be a black book of guys that he has, and he knows that he's got a relationship with them, and if he calls them, then they're going to leave whatever position they're in and come be a part of his staff. That's what I have to kind of hold out hope for, in essence. It's he's patient, and the thing, it's a blessing that he's done this before. We should be thankful. Thanksgiving time that he's rebuilt. He's rebuilt things before. Okay, the track record is a 1-win first season. Did it at Temple, did it at Baylor. Nebraska, we've got 5. So in my world, you're ahead of schedule. You've got just ahead of the game. And that's good. You're forward from anywhere where you should be. So now what does year 2 look like? Like what tinkers, what changes, what stuff happens? And you'll know a lot by how many guys that are there now are in the weight room on Monday. If your weight room is full and you got guys working out and you got guys running kind of on their own, individually led, you'll know that it bothered them the way it ended. If you don't have a bunch in there working out and you don't have a bunch of guys that are there, now you know they're content with how it goes. Almost to a point where they'll coach us out of this. They'll figure it out, and that they will coach us out of this, which is a tough way to make a living. The more it's player led, the more it's player driven, the more it's player attitude that the coaches just kind of mold and shove out there, the better. So you're going to see what your leadership is like in this. You're going to see who I'll tweet it out. And I'll give credit where credit is due. Somebody highlighted the 2 deep of Nebraska. Those guys that are like sophomores or younger. I'm sure I'll butcher this, but sophomores or younger that are on that 2 deep and played and gained experience, just to kind of show Nebraska does have some youth. I think the mistakes that were made on defense at times were more doing case to the youth. I'm super excited for our defense. I'm super excited just to build this rebuild of Nebraska football, to base it on the black shirts, to base it on a great long-standing tradition that's been through hell and back. And stat guys out there, you can find out, in 2022, how many points Nebraska gave up a game. It was a lot. To go back then and see what Nebraska did this year, it's a big change. 13-24, 13-20, your last 4 games. 14, 9, 7, 45. That's 14, 11, 36, and 13. That you can get down with that in a season. You really can. You're outclassed against Michigan. They're going to score a lot of points. They score points against teams that aren't as good. Just the way it goes. So, I mean, the progress they made is what you can hang your hat on. When you play Nebraska, hopefully, Tony White's doubled salary led Nebraska defense, points are going to be hard to come by when you play. Robinson coming back, and I thought Knighton nailed it. He's like, it's like getting our own 5-star recruit. We recruited our own 5-star recruit. And now you have some unique opportunity for some flexibility. I'd love to see Robinson down at the 0 where Nash plays. I'd love to see Nash not to take all the snaps at 0 technique the guy had up on the center. You work a rotation in with those two, and you have A gap to A gap is going to be hard. It's going to be hard to run. It's going to be hard to operate because those big boys made some plays. They blocked field goals. They did some things in that game against an Iowa crew that wants to base their life on running the football in between said A gaps. Nash, man, he's a dude beating on and hit and pounded on the whole time and just got back up and kept going. So if that's how this rebuild of Nebraska goes, based on defense till the offense figures their shit out, I'm good. But the offense has to figure its shit out. I'll be honest, nobody leaving. Nobody. Until the line coach, the quarterback coach, the running coach, the receiver coach, the tight end coach, all agree on what our identity is with the players you have now. What can we base this on? What can we be successful at? What can we hang our hat on? That's what it is. That's how I would go at it. Back to the questions in the comments. Richard asked, QB is our biggest weakness. That's where all the momentum dies when missed passes or turnovers. Have to get that fixed, and we repeat the same story next year. I mean, if we want to go straight rumor mill, I'm in. Number one. Because I would love to see this kid come back. Watch down in Stillwater, Oklahoma State. Zane Flores is down there. Regretting a kid, slighted by the previous regime. I'm making a phone call. Or however, I don't know how you can initiate contact. You slide into the DMs. Hey, what's up? You just text WYD. What you doing? Miss you. Please come back. Kick and run it, kick and spin it. Probably not going to throw that interception. Just on grooming alone. So it's somebody I'd talk to. Or I'd have his people call my people and see what you could get done there. But there's, everybody and their dog's got their suggestion. It's great. The internet is fantastic because as soon as anybody enters the portal, and mind you, he's the person that they're talking about would not be in our system, would not know any of it. Here's your guy. Got him. Go get him, Nebraska. Mississippi State quarterback's leaving. Go get him. I'll tell you where I'd be sliding in some DMs down old Aggie land, Texas A&M. Hey, man, this is what we're going to do. You want to come up here? Offensive lineman guy, defensive lineman guy. Because there's a relationship there. I apologize, I don't know the interim coach for A&M, but he played for Rule at Temple, I believe. So they know each other. That could be a detriment. He probably doesn't want to step on old boy's toes. But, that guy's he's an interesting one because if whomever, and it's not the Stoops guy, A&M got Nebraska, thought they had their guy, and then like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to stay. He'd be a guy I'd call if he doesn't survive whoever comes in next. Say, hey, you can come up here. You can recruit for us. You're one of the best in the country at it. Tim asked, Vers, do you get the opportunity to watch practice? Curious if you think some kids didn't get an opportunity that you think should have. If so, who? I did. I can go watch. I don't have time to go watch, but I can go watch it anytime. I watch some spring stuff. I apologize. I got something in my eye. It's driving me batshit crazy. I did go down and watch in the spring. It was awesome. Like it's efficient and people are moving around and nobody's like everybody that's suited and booted, even injured guys. Like I told the story of the injured practice. I would not want to do the injured practice. I would much rather want to do the team practice. Everybody's doing something. Everybody's moving around. It's great. For me, somebody I would have liked to seen play would have been the Sledge kid. You got 4 games to throw him in. I don't know. I can check participation here and try to talk at the same time. Not a strength of mine, but we'll give her hell, see what happens. But Sledge, I would have played him just to see. Curiosity would get the best of me in that instance. I would want to see, hey, I got this kid, wicked athletic. I do think they are playing him some at center to probably be the next guy in line to take over for Scott, who I thought did a serviceable job for Nebraska. Did it blow me away on anything that he did for the year? No, but did it, were we dealing with bad snaps and things like that? Also no. So I'm good with that. Just did your job as you're supposed to. Okay, so we're looking here at participation. I think he is. Carol Jackson. So that would be a no. Gatula somehow got in the game. Just don't understand that. So that is a no. Evans Jenkins. I would like to see Evans Jenkins play more in that game. I like that guy. He did have a couple rough patches, but I believe he's a walk-on. He's a walk-on dude, kind of chucked into the mix. Ties into Brian's question: what season-ending grade would you give to the offensive line? I would be D plus, C minus. I think the slow start of it kind of was off-putting a little bit to me. I would like to have seen him be better earlier. I think by the end of the season they're playing at a C plus, B minus level, which means they got better. Yeah, it's kind of where I'd be at with it. Johnny says, if Nebraska is going to hire an on-field QB coach, what current assistant would? Oh yeah, we talked about that. Sorry about that. David said the dissertation comment was referring to Burdusco. Sorry, I forgot about that little wackadoo, that little cigar smoking, bottle cap glass wearing weirdo. Well, we got sold a bill of goods there, didn't we? We could be. We should probably look at this just over and over. We could be suckers. We buy some fool's gold sometimes. We just want to believe. We just want to be good. It's like, yeah, this little eccentric weirdo is going to be the one that resurrects the QB position. That's great. All the kids love him and all that shit, but eventually it's got to translate to the field. Like you got to have somebody competent. That's my bad, David. I missed that. I forgot, damn it. I had that guy blocked out of my head. Little buddy got paid. Little buddy got paid too. God bless America. What am I doing? Why am I not in coaching college? Son of a bitch. The only profession in America where if you're not good at your job, you get fired, you get the full contract buyout, and away you go. God, I'm a dumbass. Jesus. Stupid. Versus CSA, you have 42 offensive line coaching jobs. That is true. I have. I got paid to leave every one of them. Oh man, Robert, I'm with you, buddy. Rowed boat gets the 5-7 spot for the bowl fill in. All season we kept hearing next year's starting QB isn't on the team. Do you think this is true? Purdy definitely looked different. Sounds like injuries are a real story for him this year. I he made it hard for me because the storyline is set up right. Like came in and things were kind of clicking and it looked good. And like shit, is this the guy? He ain't even healthy. He's got a bad groin. You know, what can we get done here? Is he hurt? How bad is he hurt? What do we do? And then the errors that we see from all of the quarterbacks start to just rear their head over time. So I'm like, well shit, man. Unless we have three robots and they all are the same person, just in different jersey numbers, this shouldn't be happening for everybody. It's almost as if it's a learned behavior. Are these being picked in practice in that manner? Do we fumble in practice when we get in the open space? Tim, that's a great question. And I know the majority of everybody will say no, but a healthy Chuba Purdy with an improved offensive line is interesting to me. It really is. I liked the things that he did as the QB, except the interceptions. I thought he ran the zone stuff well. I thought if when the scramble happened, like we must kill the scramble drill in practice. Harburg was great at it. Chuba was great at it. So 2 for 3. 66%. You ain't doing too bad. It's interesting, man. If he goes in and he gets his surgery or whatever he's got to do to get healthy, is he different? Even is he faster? Looked pretty good pulling away from everybody at Wisconsin. That's 4 weeks ago. I think everybody to a man or a woman's answer is no. Right now, I don't know. Tough part about the offensive line piece of that equation is you're going to have to see the offensive line play to know if they're better. That's one. We'll write that one down, Mike. Or Tim, we'll keep that one for next year. Mike's top 5 for getting better for next year. As I have that blocked out. Mike's only got 3. There's many coaches that can coach. We need players that can play. We need fans that don't bitch about being handed a new uncirculated $50 bill. I'm trying to get into the patience thing, Mike, because we suck at that. Very impatient. It's in our genes. I would caveat that. We need offensive coaches that can coach. We need offensive players that can play. I just can't get out of my head how pedestrian Nebraska's defense was in 22 and how well they played in 23 with largely the same guys. And probably something that I like the most is they play a shit ton of guys. They play a lot of dudes. They are rotating young dudes in there, and you're building that experience, right? You're building that up where you got guys that are playing that maybe wouldn't be getting reps yet. Like that's pretty sweet. That's pretty awesome. I would focus that more on the offense. I really would. I really would. Jay asks, is the time management issue due to Rule worrying about the play call too much and not the play clock? He's probably tied into it that if we're doing it that way, then obviously the trust factor isn't as high, Jay. You know, if you are really like the mentor guy and you're going to let the guy go call his plays, then no, you can't be worried about the play call. You got to be worried about clock management. If you are worried about the play call, then you need to assign clock management to somebody. So yeah, great question. I like that one. Being a former player, this is from Wesley. Being a former player yourself, what have you seen to start the season to now? What's your feeling, state of the team? Okay, we're killing it today. Nice work, crew, squad, team. Wesley, the thing that I like most about them, probably more than in the past, is they are genuinely happy when someone else succeeds on the team. And there were times in you can tell fake happiness and real happiness, and for all the issues we have in the quarterback room, they are very supportive of each other, and you don't always get that. You'll get a guy that gets pulled or gets yanked because of injury or whatever. The other guy goes in, has success, and then the other guy kind of comes over and gives him the token. Hey, good job, buddy. Good work. But these dudes, like quarterback room, whatever quarterback comes off, the other ones are waiting there smiling, high fiving. Hey, did this? If they come off and something's gone bad, they're like, well, I shouldn't have done that. Just gonna go out on a limb here and be like throwing to the other team. Bad idea. Um, when the boys blocked the 2 field goals to have everybody go batshit crazy is awesome. Big time, and I know that one happens probably more frequently. Little things, you make a tackle in the open field, your boys come over and dab each other up. There's been times in the past where Nebraska would make a tackle in the not this year in the open field by themselves, walk back to the huddle with no acknowledgement from a teammate. I think he's got him. I take that back. I know he's got him bought into the team aspect of it, but they generally want their buddy to succeed. That would be my biggest takeaway from the field. From a play, like the actual playing of the game standpoint, how well we tackle an open field and understand where our leverage is. They understand where their help is better than they have in the past. Sounds silly, sounds irrelevant, but they know if I'm going to miss, I have to miss at this side because I have my friends coming to help me from the other side. And then they eliminate that thought of them missing and just make the tackle. Pretty awesome. Gifford led the team with 11, which is never ideal when your safety's your leading tackler, but the safety in the 3-3-5 is a little different because he's more of a monster back kind of head hunter. Reimer was second with 10. Sanford was third with 9. Princewell, I apologize, but I'm not even going to attempt to say your last name. I don't want to be. I can't. I will not even succeed at that. I know that. So those are the cool things. Offensively, it's tough, man. It's tough. We fumbled it. We got it intercepted. We couldn't cut guys off on the backside of plays. Maybe your young receivers showing they can take the top off of a defense. I like that. I'll take that one. We saw both of the young ones run past the corners and safeties. Actually, good play design. One was off a play action pass. The other one was off just a good route concept. So yeah, that'd be where I'm at. Steve comes back says, "Watch Tech versus Georgia last night. QB and offensive Georgia Tech, and Georgia looked promising. Contrast of offense with Sims is striking. How confident are you that we can make a step forward with QB talent and performance? Oh, there we go. Dave's got me. No shit. God damn, Dave. I'm sorry. I didn't know that. To Steve's question, numerous people as we were watching games in here last night were like, we got the wrong QB. We got the wrong transfer one. We should go get that guy. Okay. Dave, I should have known that, but thank you for getting that for me. Dave said Satterfield worked for Rule for 6 seasons at Temple, Baylor, and Carolina. Satterfield was at fucking Carolina? Jesus Christ, Verzal, do some studying. Ugh. Oh, God, that sucks. That totally, Dave, just changed my whole day there. Fuck. Ugh. Yeah. Now I'm bummed out. I had myself in my brain there that was a sumbitch. All right, onward. Brian says some people think Rayola will leave Georgia and come here. No. He hasn't played it down there. Oh, if you're talking down the road, maybe, yeah. After he wins like 2 national championships. But no, he ain't. My little buddy went down there too and frickin' played some like high-powered high school in Georgia. Thank you, John. Do not rub Copenhagen in your eye. We're trying to get something else out of it. Just makes it worse. Truth. I've done that before. Russell, new commentator, says curious of people that want Satterfield gone. Who's the next OC? I say Willie Corn or Colin Klein. There are the coach analyst guy that I talked to. Those 2 names both came up. They both came up. As long as it's a guy that can come in and I'm not saying it's going to happen. Shit, I'm not even saying. Listen, if Satterfield comes in and says, "Hey, after a long talk with the offensive staff, we listened to Husker Hangover. They said we can't leave until we get an offensive identity established. We listened. This is what we're going to be. Okay? We're going to be zone read. We're going to be this. We're going to be that. We're going to pick any other option literally in the history of football outside of air raid or 40-yard chuck it downfield as our base offense. That I'm fine if he gets another year. Okay? I'm good with that. I get it. Cool. That works. But if you go in and you talk about, I don't even give a shit if you give me the play. Okay? Hey, what's your identity? We're gonna run 32 Ohio. 38 Ohio. We're gonna give the 3 back on an outside zone, which would be Ohio, Omaha, whatever you want to call it, whatever word starts with O. We want to get the edge because we think we got speed. We don't have the biggest backs, but we can get speed on the edge. Cool. Now I know. On 3rd and 5, I can look for 38 Ohio. Awesome. Let's do it. Throw your window dressing on it. Do whatever you got to do. Right? Perfect. But now I know. Now I know what you've got. Good with that. Go out and run it. Goes out of your base identity on offense. You got compliments on that. You got motions to that. You got shifts to get to it. You got run it strong, run it weak. Now we know where you're at. Cool by me. My next question, my follow-up question was, when do you feel is an appropriate time after you've established your identity in the game to utilize that? And when I say utilize that, I mean, when do you start to run compliments then that go down the field further? Okay, well, we feel if we can consistently string this together and run the minor complements to it, we start to get momentum where we feel, we're getting 3, 4 first downs. We pop a good one on first down. We feel second and short is a great time to take a chance. Okay, cool. Calculated risk, by the book. I would sit at a blackjack table and I would play cards with you because you're taking a calculated risk. You're saying on second and 2 is our great time to take a shot because we're by the book. Word. What does that look like? Nah, scratch that. I don't want to know that. I want to be surprised by that one. Because then you get a little swaggy and you say, because we know we can come back on 3rd and 2 and we can convert that next first down. Oh, yes. Sign me up. Now I get it. My next follow-up after that. How do you feel you get in a rhythm calling plays? When do you know you're in a rhythm? I've talked about this. Play callers are rhythmic. Georgia Tech's guy last night was in a rhythm. And you're playing the best of the best. You don't have what they have. But little buddy got in a rhythm. Little buddy was doing some things. I don't even know what it ended up, but it was a lot closer than anybody thought it was going to be. And you can tell me, oh, it's rivalry week and it's this and it's that. That guy was in a rhythm. If you watch the game, the first play he ran, set up something for the second play. The second set up something for the fifth. Because he knew he was getting the first down. Then they took calculated risk. Play action pass, took it down the field. Cool. What's it like? Ooh, maybe that's a better way to phrase it. What's it feel like when you get in a rhythm calling plays? Damn, I should go to one of these press conferences. What's it feel like? How do you know when you're in that? Well, I think I know when this, that, the other happens. Oh, unless it gets real pissing, it's like when we score. Oh, thanks, asshat. Never met Satterfield. I'm sure he's not an asshat. I'm sure he's a nice guy. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Establish that identity. If I'm Nebraska media, I'm not leaving a press conference till they tell me what their identity is. If they want to give me a play, cool. Give me a play. Let me know. This is kind of a popular one. Derek comments talking about going after quarterbacks. I called the kid from Pierre, South Dakota. Going to Ohio State. He's not going to see any play time there. Yeah. If you're looking for Joey Burrow too, I don't know if he's it, but take a shot. There's going to be options out there. Now, with addition, there's going to be subtraction. I told you, don't get used to players. You're far more likely or going to be far happier if you get used to coaches than you get used to players right now. If you bring in the kid from Pierre, if he's available, that quarterback room now, everybody's probably going to take a step backwards. Or they're going to ask some guys to change positions. So be ready. And don't pull the bullshit. Oh, they phased that kid out. Got rid of him. This is a business now. When you bring NIL into this is how it all ties. When you bring NIL into this, you are now up for more criticism. With your scholarship, you can kind of dance around and be like, well, the kid's just a kid and he's getting his schooling paid for, and it's da-da-da-da. When you're getting big checks, you get big criticism. You're almost in lockstep with coaches that get criticized because what do we all say? We're paying him a shitload of money. Got to be better. Got to call better games, better clock management. We do. When you tie money onto it, then you expect a bigger result. Then I have friends that say it already. You guys getting paid a shit ton of money. You got to be better. Can't throw that interception. Can't fumble that ball. Can't do this. Can't do that. The two don't correlate, but people will say it. Yeah, you can bring in dudes. You can bring dudes in. but then somebody's got to exit. So be ready for that. Walter says Ryan Day at OSU is 56-7. Overall 1-3 versus Michigan, 40-0 versus the rest. Those numbers overall. But the rest of the Big Ten, Suckeyes fans want him fired. Yeah. When you're successful, everything ramps up infinity. Especially too when you can't beat your rival. Like think about Nebraska back in the 80s when they couldn't beat Oklahoma. Everybody's about to shit their pants. Defeated before they started. My dad was one. We're gonna win them all and lose fucking Oklahoma. Fucking Barry Switzer. You've all said it. Don't act like you haven't. That's the way it goes. We used to be that. We're gonna win all these and fucking lose Nebraska. Goddamn assholes up there fucking cheating. Sons of bitches. It's hard to beat Big Brother, right? In Michigan, hey, if you don't like power football, don't watch Michigan play. It is beautiful. God damn, they got some big ass athletic offensive linemen too. Son of a bitch. Fuck. Anybody transfers out of there, that's my first. I'm like, hey, we got a spot for you. Like watching those big monsters move, and I know little buddy Zinter snapped his tibia and fibula yesterday. But shit. They're freaks. They are freaks. I would go figure out how they are off-season training. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right? I've told you, we had coaches that would come into our practices in the off-season and watch. How are you guys doing this? I'm not talking like slapdicks. I'm talking like real, like big-time coaches. How you guys doing this? Well, we do this in the off-season. We do this, and we make all the fat ones jump over that fence, but they've bowed the fence, so it's shorter now. So we got to get the fence fixed. So it's back to higher. So they got to jump higher. We get them explosive, and we do this and do that, and da-da-da-da. And most of them are 5'11", but we tell them they're 6'2", and they're athletic and squatty bodies and power in the trunk. We got some of these trees on the outside. They run real fast. Go imitate it. Go find out what they're doing. I guarantee you this. If you call Harbaugh's weird ass, he'll tell you what they're doing. He don't give a shit. It's like, yeah, go try to do it. Conference needs to be better. I'd reach out. Lockdown like Illinois won't even let a Nebraska high school coach go watch your freaking camp. Jerks. Still pissed about that. I know they've sucked this year, but I'm still good with it. They do some cool shit on the offensive line up there. They really do. Jay says at practice, are they working on end of game situations like it's in the game with the clock and the officials? They did the day I was there, Jay. They worked some cool situations. Probably could have cranked up the intensity on it, but now this is spring. So this was forever ago. But they were focusing on when the defense made the stop. I think the scenario was like offense had the ball down 6 at the 45. So the big thing was defense, you got to get off the field. You got to be done here. Then the defense was able to stop the offense, and they started celebrating. And then it was like, what are you celebrating? This is your job. This is what you're supposed to do. So the focus, like the high level of things they're trying to do to rewire their brains. And maybe, if you look at it, it took more. They absorbed more on the defensive side of it. The offensive side of it, still trying to figure it out. Yeah, there was a clock going, and there was all that stuff, and officials, and as close to a game as you can make something in the spring. Fred says if they decide to get a portal QB, can we please get a QB who is a QB first and athletic if needed? Not an athlete playing QB. That's good, Fred. That's a good one right there, buddy. Take a guy that's groomed to be a quarterback, understands routes and concepts and reading defenses, maybe runs a 4.8 instead of little buddy that runs a 4.4, and I'll figure out the throwing part later. I like that, Fred. I like that, buddy. He's at Oklahoma State. He's at Oklahoma State, and he's from Gretna. Just reach out. I don't even know if it's meddling. I don't give a shit. I just sent a text to a dad who was a Gretna. His son played at Gretna with the quarterback. I was like, hey, how's that going down there? What's the vibe? Do we like it? Think you might want to, a little closer to home? No? Think about it. Send one up the flagpole there, see what you got. See who salutes. I was like, shit, I don't give a shit. What's the worst they can say? They reach out to Nebraska and be like, hey, we're interested. Cool. See what happens. We got a bunch of GI guys in here. Brian goes through some of the punishment for for fumbling in practice. I've forgotten about that. I won't bore you guys. You can go read that one in the comments. Another guy, Mike, comments in. Johnny doing some research for us. So, Rule took play calling away from Satterfield at Baylor and still took him to the NFL and hired him at Nebraska. These two also thought they could fix Sims. Decision making is a problem. Okay. Thank you for the first part of the information, JJ. The second part, I myself have made decisions in life where I thought I could fix this. I got no problem here. I get this done easy. And then I realized quickly I cannot do that. And I've never made that mistake again. So they took a shot on a kid and it didn't work. I think they let the experiment run a little too long. But I don't see them bringing projects in anymore. I see that being a lot more calculated. Also, probably could have been a little panic button depressed there. Okay, we don't really have what we're looking for. I'm really struggling with this chair today. Like, I don't think that we have on roster what we're looking for. So let's take a shot. Let's get him in here and groom him, see if it works. In their mind, and probably not going to admit it, like, well, if we bring him in, he's better than what we got. Let's just try to work around it. I think that's correct. If people held that over me, like, for my life and all the shit I've screwed up, probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. So hey, David, if you want to be my research guy, I will gladly anoint you that and compensate you with pizza as well. David's a scoop guy. David's got all the info. He was the one that told us about Purdy's groin. Oh, no, David. David says, I seem to be your harbor, some word I can't say, on Sunday mornings. First, the news about Purdy's groin. Truth, that was you. And then now this, I come into your place. Am I going to get run out? No. You are going to get seated. You'll probably get a bush latte. And if you want a pizza, I'm a small town. Well, I'm a medium-sized town kid that has roots in small town. So if anytime we can make life more like a small town cafe where everybody's kind of passing on information, you sit around, you bullshit for a while, and you tell some stories, and you make some people laugh, but you get good information out and you have a good time, I'm down. So no, you just let me know. You will be greeted with Bush Light and pizza. or wings if you want. Yeah, no, David. You keep information coming. You can do that, but anytime. Tim says Joe Daly is a rising coach star in the NFL. Any chance Rule brings him to Lincoln? I would say we probably table after what David has told us. We'd table, and he thought that Satterfield's going to go anywhere. So let's just take it. We're going to deal with it. We're going to move on. Give him a second. Give him a second year. Put the screws to Raiola and really get that line going. And then I think year 2 we judge. Our timelines all got moved up because I think we won more than realistic fan. We won more than we thought we would. You got the lunatic fringe out there. It was like, oh, this is 10 wins and this, that, the other. And I was like, well, let's slow down. Let's just get to 6. So then the carrot looks so far away. Every week got closer and closer and closer. And it's like, holy shit, we're at 5. We got 4 left. Everybody of those 4 is beatable. Like some bitch is going to be real. And then we took the cart and we moved it before the horse. And now we're both pissed because it all got screwed up. We do have a finite eye for football in the state. We do. No matter how much terrible football we have watched for years, we have a finite eye for it. And to watch it, like, hey, this is getting better. Like, again, we're not beating the best teams in the country, but we're winning. Where we would screw it up before, now we're winning. This is awesome. Let's go. And then we had to watch it all crumble. Michigan State, shit. Maryland, shit. Wisconsin, shit. Iowa, you got to be fucking kidding me. Right? So now we're in this phase. I'm fine with it. I'm pissed at Satterfield too. Knowing what David has told me, though, now I for sure know he ain't going nowhere. So let's just chuck that aside. There's going to be no better opportunity come about. There's going to be nothing that would change. Okay, so now this is what we got. How do we make his job easier? Okay, I think everybody to a man is going to say acquire, and a woman acquiring a QB. Cool. Let's all go on portal watch. We'll see who hops in there. I think it's December 3rd or 4th. By the way, the Whitney Lawrence and gal that used to play volleyball went scorched earth on the old social media. Go out and have fun with that. She's pissed and getting in the portal. And I think the way she ended was like, you will see me again. I was like, oh, good. She's going to go somewhere in the Big Ten and be like, I'm coming for you. But not every situation works out. Okay, so let's just, for me, this is how I'm going to deal with it. You guys do what you want to do. I'm going to table the fact that, and I was one of the biggest proponents of it. I did not know the background of it. I'm bummed out about that. So now I know he's going to be here. Okay, so how do we make that better for his job to look successful? If it's portal quarterback, great. If it's healthy Chuba Purdy, I think even better because he's got cohesion with the team. My big one is what moves do you make to get your offensive line better? Okay. I'm hard on offensive linemen. People don't like my grade. I don't care. For me watching it, it is what it is. They started here, not very good. Got better by the end, not very good. Your grade to me then is in the middle. And so that's where their grade is. Get that better. Viable options for him, whomever the quarterback is, to throw the ball on routes that are under 25 yards. The guys that got shake, the guys that can get open, they can create space. You can run some, 2 posts and 1 flat route kind of guy, easy throws. Those kind of things. Okay. Get some guys that are a little twitchier than what we got, a little quicker than what we got, and can get open. Okay. making moves, getting open, that kind of thing. Just somewhere that's an easy throw. I'm with Tim here. Emmett Johnson runs his ass off. Okay. I would put weight on him, number one, to get him to where I feel he's a little more durable. Then I got to have a couple other viable options for him to give him a break. So I would assess those. I would find that. Okay, so now if I've armed him with what I feel is going to make his offense successful, I think the tight end room is fine. Coach Martin just keeps coaching him, create ways to get Fedoni the ball. Cool. These are the things now we've looked at and we've assessed for the offense. Okay, if we can accomplish this, better O-line, receivers that are a little quicker, maybe a few more of them, I think that'd be awesome too. We can kind of send guys at waves. A bigger Emmett Johnson, I think it's going to be awesome. Like thicker to where it can take more hits and you can give him the ball more, and viable backup. So you get all that. Okay, now you've got what you need. Are we going to get all that in one off season? Probably not. But can I get bits and pieces of it? Yes. Now I've armed you with weapons. Okay. Now show me how you call a game. Show me your identity. What are you on 3rd and 5? Take it back. Let's go 1 yard less. 3rd and 4. I know that's a great identity down. What are you on 3rd and 4? Are you quick pass out to the flat? 2 great blocks, get up the field, taking a little bit of a chance for me, but that's not my deal. I don't call plays, nor have I ever wanted to call plays. Is it double team everything down, pull and kick with a guard, and then I lead an H back through there? And I crease that and I get 5. Cool. So now, in the background, I've got to taper things down and get you weapons now. I've got to get you people that I feel you have enough to fully execute your game plan. Because people are jumpy. Coordinators are jumpy. That didn't work. I ran it 3 times. Got stuffed every time. Ditch it and go. It took T.O. a long time. There's a lot of running back and fullback diving in the middle of the line. We got 2-3 yards, punt. Play defense, come back, try it again, punt. Play defense, come back, try it again, punt. Play defense, try it again. Fullback, 60-yard touchdown. High back, breaks tackle, touchdown. You got to be a little crazy. You got to be a little nuts to just run your head into a wall over and over again, hoping eventually the dam's going to break. Not giving anybody reprieves. I still was not that impressed with what happened. I can understand it. I can also understand, like in my playbook, I got to tailor things to the guys that I have. But okay, so let's work on this upgrade to get our roster to fit our offensive identity. Let's train in a manner that gets our linemen more athletic. A running back, put some mass on him. Even if it's receivers you got right now and you can do things to make them quicker, cool. I'm fine with a bunch of dudes that look like Wes Welker and that running around out there. Billy Kemp side. Get him the ball. Cool. Okay. So let's arm you and then see what you have. So offensively, knowing now what we know, shout out David. Newsbreaker on Husker Hangover. Now we know what we got in store. So year 2 is your year. If it doesn't work in year 2, now, okay, let's hunker down. Rob says Kleinholtz from Pier is 3rd string at OSU. Almost played 2 weeks ago. Almost. So there's tons of options out there. There's tons and tons. There's going to be more. There's going to be a ton of them that come about. Russell says, seems like identity was taken away with all the offensive players that got hurt. Fair. Rule talks to Tom about 32 belly option. It wasn't called that. So we changed our identity from pro style to more option, run, thought. I don't mind it. Like, do I want like a tight, like too tight, full blown like read option stuff? No. I don't think that's appealing to kids. Can the concepts work in it still to this day? Do they still work? Are they all the exact same? Just an insider info on football blocking and scheme? It's all the same. All the shit is the same. Just move a guy around. You throw some window dressing. We're used to being an I formation. We fake the ball to the fullback. You pitch it to the I back. You watch them now. We'll fake it to an I back. There'll be a receiver that just darts backwards, and then you run. You can either throw it to him. All the same shit. Don't care how it gets there. Okay. But just your design and how that's no, they got a lot of dudes hurt. They did. They really did. Selfishly, I thought their depth would be better with what they have done or how they operate, which I really like. I really do. I like the structure of practice. I like the discipline of it. I like all of it. Did I think their depth could be better? Yes. Was the truth reality of it that depth probably still wasn't ready to have to be forced into action as soon as it was on the offensive side of the ball? Probably true. So that's tough. But you can. I don't think you need to go straight I formation option. You can go creative and get some things handled. Like I said, the concepts and the scheme are the same. For us traditionalists that we grew up watching this, you're always pitching to the I back. Well, no. Like I said, you can RPO that thing. You can do a bunch of stuff. Just got to be what time do you do it, when do you do it, how do you do it, is it appropriate to do it? There was some discussion back to like turning the page for TO, and then it got into Bo. There's some Bo discussion going on in there. Imagine if we had patience. Imagine if we had competent upper management leadership that was patient. And I know it's unpopular. Frank, after 7 year, I think he figures it out. He says, I got to be my own man. I got to do it this way. I got a young ass staff. Some of them are running around town crazy. I'll get them reeled in or I'll get them gone. And we go. But imagine if we had patience as an organization. Imagine if you dealt with it and you went and laid some parameters to Bo Pelini and said, hey, dude, we love your passion. Stop with the spittle. Stop with the hat throw. We're not out to get you. Nobody's out to get you. The referees might be out to get you. But if you could just calm slightly, don't lose your passion, just calm slightly. We see you being here for a while. And then you go. Instead of the shit show that we do. I got Jamie, who served for the Marines. Thank you for your service, bud. He and Brian have been discussing the comments about T.O. and T.O. being around and all that stuff. Jamie, my guy, you know I love you like family, but you're off on this one. He said, I have even said that T.O. needs to stay away and let the coaches do what they do. I think they feel that they have to kiss the ring and cannot fully coach the way they want. That one's not true. T.O., he ain't come up there every day. He comes up when invited. The guy still is a bastion of knowledge of the game. There is no meddling in that. There are suggestions. And I guarantee you what happens first is, Coach, I really like how you do this. And then the conversation starts and it's like, well, some options off of that are this. But if you can fit that into how you do things, that play was successful for us a lot. So that one was a little off there, bud. You're still my guy. Back from the days at A.B. Newell School, but that's the only one. Johnny B says, hey, only bitch I have is we ran off the only proven quarterback. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a Husker Hangover favorite, freshly out of bed at the Armadillo Ranch out there in beautiful Placer, Nebraska, joining us, the one, the only, the 1997 Outland Trophy winner.
Come and take it, baby.
Shocker with that one.
That's
Hey,
right.
AT, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. Morning, Verse.
Morning, buddy. Would you
Okay. Kind of pissed off. I got a lot of snow. I got about 3 inches.
that's what she said.
Good office quote, isn't it?
Oh, thank you for that. They just leading with your chin.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, I led you right into that, didn't I? That was fun. That was funny. Yeah, that's good.
How was your
Man, we
Thanksgiving?
got too much. We got too much snow down here. I gotta get going here shortly to the
Yeah,
twins'
man.
birthday party.
Oh,
Yeah, so we gotta get
how
the
old are they?
4.
Oh, geez.
Isn't that crazy?
That got away from us. That was
Real fast, real fast. Yeah, yeah. So
so grandpa said,
been listening to you a little bit.
how's it sounding?
Oh, you sound good. You sound good. I don't know. You sound like everybody else, right? Can we just win some damn ball games?
Shit, man, my guy David. I didn't realize Satterfeld had been at many stops. I probably should do some research before I get on here and ramble. But
And they haven't been real good stops.
yeah, fair.
Well, as far as his offensive rating, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know where he sits nationally.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Are you good getting him? You know, there's some deficiencies at receiver. They're young at receiver. Running back had its issues. Offensive line wasn't great. Are you in the camp? You could give him more tools and see what happens.
you have to. You have to. I mean, just think what you would have done. If you lost 8 of your 11 starters, from the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Kind of one of the things I've told some coworkers and some other friends is I would love to be in those Sunday game planning meetings for the week.
Mm-hmm.
Especially right there in the middle of the year and throughout the end, and figure out what the hell you're supposed to do. Really, who do you have for a playmaker? You've got some players that I think uh, are growing or getting better. You talked about Emmett Johnson a little bit earlier. I think he's gotten better as the year gone on.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think he's good. I think Anthony Grant just kind of plateaued there, but I think he's got some tools. But it's you've got some tight ends, but you really don't have receivers. You got some offensive linemen that have gotten better,
Mm-hmm.
but man, you don't really have anything. I remember sitting in Scott Frost's office after one of the ball games. This was after Marcus Washington.
Yeah.
Wasn't it him that left?
Uh-huh.
And then really the only playmaker he had was Wandell.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in his office after one of the games, and he's like, "Man, Taylor," he goes, "I'm trying to figure out how to get the ball to some more people." He goes, "The only person I have that can make a play is Wandell." And
Yeah.
he said, "I can't run him in the ground," which he did. Um, he goes, "But that's all I've got."
His daddy got pissed too.
Yeah, yeah,
Just stop putting my kid at running back or we're out of here.
yeah. And I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
It's um
Hey,
it's a tough deal, man. I mean, he's doing a good job in the NFL, doing what he was supposed to be doing here, right?
yeah,
So,
he's doing great.
it's tough. I'd like to be in those Sunday meetings trying to game plan and figure out what to do. Um, I'm with you. You talked a little bit earlier about identity.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had an identity in years. Even going back to uh, Pelini years, just trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do. We had an old coach back in Texas that I had. We ran a sweep play, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what we were known for. We were known for our running game down home in Texas. And Coach Froman, he was an old Indian, right? Old Native American, and he'd say, "Boys, we're going to run this sweep. We're going to run it to the right until they stop us, and then once they stop us, we're going to run it to the left." And then that's all we did. Boom, 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 boom. But this guy won many, many, many games. You were talking about 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, right? You said, "All right, give me another yard and make it 3rd and 4. What are we going to run?" I can tell you what TO is going to run. We're going
Go
to
ahead.
run a 42 dive pass, delay flat,
Yeah.
right? We're going to run that. If it's 3rd and 2, we're going to run an ISO.
Yeah.
It ain't hard. Or we're going to run a quick speed option and we're going to let Tommy or whoever turn it up, right? Not
Do you know
hard.
the time for 4 years to get Turman to put in 47 dive pass, 2 to lay flat?
Did it take him that long?
He won't do it.
What? That's the best play in America. Best play in America.
It's the most unguardable play in football.
Oh, Mark Gilman, you name it. Mark Gilman had remember old Mark Gilman? Hey, it's for the people that listen or they're going to listen to this thing. Basically, what it is it's take all your offensive linemen and you run them to the left like it's going to be a dive play, and then your tight end kind of just hangs out on the right hand side and it's delayed, and then he'll just curl out 4 or 5 yards, 3-4 yards, and it's an easy pitch and catch.
Yeah. Tight end standing by himself out in the
by
flat.
himself all the
Everybody
time.
else on the defense has flown over to the side of the ball. Quarterback just actually is given a wide handoff. He puts it on his hip. He rolls, takes 2 steps. Just literally, it's a dart throw. He just darts it out there. It's like, whoop, go ahead and
it's easy.
Boys. That's the best 10-yard pass I ever completed.
Easy peasy.
Oh, I'm so happy you said that. I hope
all day long. And you knew it was coming, and the defense knew it was coming, right? Yep. So anyhow, you get in these situations, and God, man, this is going to go back even. I'm gonna dive even deeper. It goes back to the sign stealing in Michigan, right? Who gives a shit if they're stealing signs?
Mm-hmm.
First off, quit doing the stupid stuff and signaling stuff in. Just run the damn play in with the receiver, right? Yeah. That's number one. Number two, quit signaling it in. Doesn't really matter. Nope. If you run your damn plays the way you're supposed to run your plays, everybody's accounted for, and you're going to get the yards you need.
When you train them to say we have to have this advantage, you're telling them we don't think you can win one-on-one.
Yeah.
We have to get this. Oh, we have to know this because if we don't, then you can't win.
It's and it's all analytics anyhow, Verge. Yeah. It's not hard. It's not real hard. People knew we were going to run on a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. They knew we were going to run a delay, pass, or we're going to run an ISO. Mm-hmm. They knew that if it was 3rd and 4, we were going to run this play 47% of the time, this play 22% of the time, this play the rest, whatever it was, right? Mm-hmm. We've been doing that for years.
Decades.
Years and years and years. So I don't know. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. We suck. I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of losing for years. Yep. Then I start going real deep in my head, right? I'm sitting out here at the house. There's nobody around, nobody to talk to. Then I start getting pissed off at Trev. I'm like, now you want to go spend $500 million on a renovation, right? I'm not even getting my money's worth going to a game now. You're going to tell me you're going to spend $500 million to renovate the stadium, and you're going to decrease the cost of a ticket? Come on now.
Whoa. Okay. What would level that out, Aaron? What would make that acceptable to Nebraska fan if we're going to spend money to expand or to renovate? We're going to drop your ticket prices down. What could we sell at a game that would make up that short?
Well, hey, I'm all for a little bit of booze.
What could that be?
I'm all for a little bit of booze. We're going to need some beer to get through this.
On Tuesday, and I don't even care, when I was sitting in between the afternoon game and the night game, they bring in dinner and everybody goes and sits down, and it's cool. You meet the camera guys and all that shit. So I'm sitting down in there, and one guy looks around and goes, "Can you believe this is going to be the keg cooler?" And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Oh, yeah.
Really?
It goes, it's going to be a big-ass cooler where we're sitting right now full of beers." And I was like, "No way."
And that's okay. That's okay.
You got to make money, man. This is a business.
Yeah, I'm not against it. And it'll keep your and I'm not a big boozer. You know that, but I'd like to have a beer or two. I'd probably grab one. I'd grab one. Well, first off, the lines are going to be long, right?
Right.
Yeah. If process it through, make that money. But I don't think there's anything bad about grabbing a beer and watching the ball game. I think that'd be great.
No, everything in moderation. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be fantastic. So anyhow, I kind of went off on a tangent, but
you're fine.
Anyway.
concourse guy though. Like they're building a concourse where you can like walk around. I'm like, I'm that guy. Like I'll buzz a concourse if I go to a game. I don't mind that at all. Like pregame,
Hey,
I'm just
I like what he's talking about on that whole deal. But you got to drive the you
I
got to
like
drive that ticket price down.
I like that big fat ass raise he got. How do you get one of them?
Boy, I tell you what.
Trev needs to start hosting alumni tailgates. Is what Trev needs to do.
No, don't even get me started on those.
Trev needs to be the host of that baby. Hey boys, I got some pigs on the brisket or on the smoker. Head out there, help yourself.
Don't even get me started.
Do it.
No, we're good. We'll do that in private.
What time's the party?
I think 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. What'd you get?
So that was Tanya's job. That was Tanya's job.
Oh.
I don't know. They got all kinds of toys. They don't need any more.
Just autograph them.
Yeah. No, they don't need any more. They're good.
Oh, that's good. They're cute little shits too.
They are. They are. They got another little baby there, Asher, who's what is he now? 7 months. Yeah, so they got three Rugrats running around there.
Like Dishman is touch stuff, pregnant.
Right. Yep.
By the way, when I put the group text together and wish everybody happy Thanksgiving, do you have to attack Dishman?
How many turkeys did he eat?
That is a mean-spirited question.
It was true. And by the way, your sister,
she got after that pie, didn't she?
What was she doing? What was she doing? Megs, you're better than that.
Careful, dude. Careful. Dion will threaten to keep receipts. Megan Butenbach will keep receipts.
I bet she
will snipe you. She sniped Foreman. I told the story on here last week. She sniped Foreman because Foreman said Lincoln High School sports were trash. So Jay comes in to get an adjustment, and he's Jay's. So Meg's like, "Oh yeah, we can fit you in. Go ahead. Why don't you head over right now?" So old Jay's just bopping in like, "Hey, I'm about to get an adjustment. I'm gonna feel all good." Megan pulls up the tweet. She goes, "Oh, so Lincoln High School sports suck, do they?" And he's like, "I was stuck." He goes, "She gave me the business for 20 minutes."
Atta baby Megs. Yeah.
You might have made it, my guy. You're
great.
Gonna see her somewhere and think everything's cool. She's gonna get you.
Yep.
Well,
crazy. So where do you think we go football wise from here?
I think we got to go get some linemen. And I was super bummed out, and I get it. It's senior day. These kids have been through hell. I just, in those last 4 games, I needed to see Sammy Sledge play. I needed to see him play. I think he's athletic. I think he's big enough. I think he's tough enough. I think he provides you another dynamic where you can actually, like when you pull a guy to the edge, he's going to get on the corner and be hunting corners and safeties. And I wanted to see it, and I didn't. So I was disappointed in that. But you got to get some ass kickers. You got to have some guys that are just bad intention or would go into a rage like you would. Like you would get in a game and your eyes would be bloodshot and from all the sweat in your face because you were overweight, and you were just go. And you would just go. Like you got to have that guy, a devil may care. If I miss, but I'm going to hit somebody else if I miss. So, oh well.
I thought the line talking to the line, I thought they developed well over the year.
I agree.
I was really happy. There were several plays where I thought Chubba had plenty of time back there in the pocket. And did well. This at the beginning of the year, it was like, oh my God, lookout blocks left and right. But I thought they got better. I'm with you. I think they were probably pressing a little bit to get this last win here in the last 4 games to become bowl eligible, which I think kind of curbed some of the young guys playing. But I'm with you, man. It's those freshmen. Those young guys needed to get in and play, and especially when you have 4 games that you can get in, right? That's critical. But again, I think they were pressing a little bit on making a bowl game, getting those practices in. I think that would have helped. I don't know. I think I go through a wide range of emotions, right? Because I feel for the coaches, I feel for the players. It didn't go the way we wanted. Especially when, at the beginning of the year, I'm sitting there looking 5, 6 wins. Okay. I can see that first year. But man, when you had 8 wins in your pocket,
Yeah.
you could have got them. You could have got them. And now I'm sitting there going, oh,
Another off.
what kind of momentum that would have been, and we just pissed it down our leg.
Yeah, we did.
That's difficult. I really want to see. One of the things our fan base was really um, was really bothered with was when Scott left and we got this staff in, and they were talking about, well, now it's nice to have adults running the program, right?
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of questions the past few weeks of what kind of decisions do we have going on here, right?
Yep.
and it felt like it didn't matter what coach, we was still going to be the same damn results, right? Same results. So I don't know. Sometimes just be careful what you wish for. But with that going forward, I think I'm with you. We've got it. We've got to get some linemen. We've got to get some receivers in there.
You can find running back. I'll be honest. And if when Emmett fills out, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
I got asked this earlier. What would you grade the offensive line for the year?
For the year?
For the year. I said C- to D+.
Man, that's I was going to say C-, right? Because I don't. And that's not to copy you. I wasn't going to give them a failing grade because I thought they got better as the time went on. It's just like when Teddy got in. Teddy had to start, and his first game was rough, but he got better each game. With Newelly going out for a few games, and Ben Scott getting hurt, and who would have thought that Bryce Benhart would have been our best player?
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
And that's a testament to him, man, wanting to get better, and he got better each and every game. He looked good. He looked real good. Now I'd like to see him inside, right? But
like
again,
the stirrup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
been a good move.
So yeah, I'd give them a C-, because I thought they had a long ways to go from the first game, and they got better. But I'm with you too. The offense needs to find. They need to find that dude. They need to find that guy. I'm not sure which position it's at, but first you need to find somebody that's nasty, right? I mean, just go find somebody that's nasty that just wants to get in the middle of everything. Go find a little mini Richie Incognito.
Yeah. Henry.
Or Henry. Yeah. Either one of those, right? Go find somebody that's willing to get a little nasty, and that rubs off on other people.
The deep exhales. I'm with you. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, it is, and
you couldn't take it.
Yeah, and the quarterback situation, I understand. You're running through three. You sold your soul on Jeff Sims. That didn't work out, and now you're scrambling the rest of the year. And even though I like Heinrich, is he a true QB? But he's second string guy. He comes in, does some things well, doesn't do some things well. Same with Chuba. So I can understand them, scrambling around there. Go find your QB that first off, figure out what you want to run. Right? Is it going to be an RPO? Is it going to be some power based offense? I don't know. But figure out what you want to run, then go get your QB and throw that money at them. Right? I mean, that's kind of what you got to do now. I think Deion Sanders was saying it right after they lost to Utah was, "Hey, I hope these donors are ready to open up the checkbook because that's what it takes nowadays."
Yeah,
and it does, and it's unfortunate. It's extremely unfortunate. I was reading where A&M's job is obviously open. And they were talking about, if they do get a guy like Kirby Smart where he could demand 15, 20 million. I don't think he leaves Georgia, but what I'm saying is,
Buddy.
15 to 20 million, and then their NIL is 30 mil a year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
If they give Kirby
So
Smart 5 years, $100 million, he's going to have talent at A&M.
he's going to have talent. And that I was telling a
Like,
friend of mine, I go, he's going from one recruiting hotbed to probably a little bit bigger one,
you're going
right?
to look
Because
at
he's
Georgia and be like, you're going to match this? And Georgia will be like, nope. You'd be like, see ya.
see ya.
20
Yeah,
million is 20 million.
yeah,
Guaranteed. Like, what a
great.
flex. That flex by A&M where they showed up at the halftime of the game before with a check for $167 million.
Right.
So you fire a coach, you have to pay him $77 million, and you got 90 million spare. Like they have his salary almost paid. They're 10 million short.
Right. Well, they'll
But
get that, no problem.
come
No
on.
problem. Oh man, it's this is where college football's come to, right?
Yep.
But if you want to compete, you're going to have to be there, right?
Mhm.
So I can tell you right now, Ohio State's looking around, going, "All right, boys, here we go."
Mhm.
It wasn't just a couple years ago where Ryan Day was saying to his donors, "We need 13 million in our NIL fund to stay competitive every year." 13.
Yep.
And now A&M's pushing 30 or pushed
Mhm.
30 this past year. That's crazy. That's
It
crazy
got
money,
nothing
Verse.
got losses out of it.
Right. So
I would say
I
just
mean,
lost
I mean,
first.
it's crazy to me that okay, so where we want to talk X and O's, we want to talk identity, and we want to talk about developing our players going into next year and getting having our team getting older, which there is something to that. You still need to have that as a base. But now you're pushing NIL, and Rule and Company they've been needing to go out, and I'm sure they have the past 30, 60, 90 days, right? Call it middle of the season. You start identifying potential transfers,
Yep.
right, in the middle of the season,
Oh yeah.
and now you start targeting that, and that's
You're
crazy
on
to
the
me.
pulse. Like who's pissed? What guy did
So
we recruit that's somewhere that's pissed?
yeah, so
Like
so
you
I
just, you just slide into DMs and be like, WYD, what are you doing?
you have to, don't you?
I think so. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I don't either. You have to. You got to. Okay, obviously you can't contact the kid, but you know what? Mom and dad are probably open to a $5 million conversation,
We
right?
need Dave. Our guy David does all the research and does all the fact check. David, we got to figure out how contact with these players goes. And
Yeah,
reach out.
it's amazing to me. And so I don't know, man. You start talking about just the basic footballs and running a football team and a football program, and then you start throwing in all these other factors, and it's I'm not real sure that's I don't know. I say it's not I'm not real sure that's the way you want football to go, but
It's a
it's
different
here.
world.
And so now we need to embrace it, and we need to go. We can't get left behind. And I just feel that you can take the way we are, John tell AT to get his ass out of bed. I do come on at the end every time, don't I?
You do. You do.
Man, my bad. I do get out of bed early,
You got shit
but
going on. I
yeah.
feel it.
And Haas gives you all kinds of
Oh,
excuses, doesn't he?
got more excuses and cars got liver pills. Hey, are Wayne and Big D out at the ranch? Or they
Yeah,
travel?
yeah, they're here. I got to go scoop them out so they can get their walker and their cane and stuff and get out to the car.
Stop. Don't be a dick.
No, they're good. They're doing good, man. They're doing
Those
good.
are the nicest people on the face of the earth.
Oh, they're great. They're great. My mom's still doing kidney dialysis,
Is
and
she?
yeah, she's doing that at home, and she does that thing overnight, and that's worked wonders for her since she's got on that. Energy levels have been up, and Big Wayne's getting around. That they got another little Chihuahua rescue dog, and so that's kind of kept my dad busy and got him moving around. So I still can't get them to do anything around here, but
They're retired.
yeah, that's what they
Now,
tell me. Yeah, they said it's all about me doing stuff for them now.
yeah, they
Yeah,
followed your ass up here.
I know it.
It
I
could
know
be
it.
down in Wichita Falls, Texas, nice and warm.
I know it. I know it.
But you're up
Good
here.
people, man. They're good people, aren't they?
They're the best.
Yeah. They love their Verzal.
Tell them hello for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, buddy. We'll have fun at the birthday party. And
You got to go?
next
Let's
year,
just roll this thing over. What does Hurrdat have to say about it?
some of us got to work.
Oh, it's only 10 verse.
Yeah, buddy. You don't just open the door. You got to do prep.
Yeah, no, you should have your guys doing that.
They're attempting.
Do we need to work on your program?
Yeah, we do.
We do. I got a guy for you too, a part-time guy.
Send him in if he wants to work. Send him to me.
Yep, I got a part-time guy for you.
Fantastic.
All right, brother.
Love
you.
I love you.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Be good. Have fun scooping snow.
All right, man. See ya.
See ya. Aaron Taylor, ladies and gentlemen. Good buddy. Good dude. As far as the show in an ongoing manner, I have a lot of technology stuff I have to figure out in the off season. I do not think I'm going to be on the Hurrdat network anymore, but the show will continue on. I'll have a YouTube channel. I'll figure out how to link it to all the stuff. Part of the deal with it is just for me. If I was told some things, those things didn't come true. So we're just going to take our ball and leave. Hope you guys all know how much you mean to me. It's a very valuable part of my week. But yeah, the Husker Hangover YouTube will still be there. The Twitter will still be there. The Facebook will still be there. I possess all of those. But probably just time for me to go do this on my own if we're going to get what we got out of it this year. Ended up having to produce it. They distribute it. I think I can figure that out. I'm not that tech savvy, but I'm tech savvy enough. So watch out for that. There's some comments that I thought were great before we get out of here. Fred says, I'd like to see some complimentary football play. Defense gets a turnover, offense scores off his special team, pins them deep. Defense stops them on third down, flips field, et cetera, et cetera. Wesley says, AT's old coach sounds like Howell's Dodge Jaguars, sweep right, sweep left. I do, in regard to the NIL, people ask a lot of question about that. The NCAA is going to bring the distribution part of that in-house. So you'll have all these little fundraising arms. They'll give the money to the university. The university will then distribute that. I would probably see a position being created at Nebraska where you're kind of a liaison between the head coach and the players, because the head coach doesn't want to have the players talking to him about, hey, where do I get my money? The head coach should be like, go talk to that guy. He's in charge of all that. He'll explain it all to you. And then Rob up in South Dakota says, my boy plays 9-man football. That Kleinholtz was a good one here, but I don't think he's got it. He was a last-minute decision. He's the one that made Rayola look at UGA. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate all that you do. The fact that you play along, the fact that you put up with my ineptitude at times with technology. We will press on. Husker Hangover ain't going anywhere. We will probably do it on our own. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for participating. Love you all to death, and have a great Sunday. It will get better. I can only be optimistic. So, in Rule we trust. We got more wins than I think some of us thought we would, and we will press on. But have a good one. You guys have a great rest of your day. I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. Have a Merry Christmas. I owe people beers, so I got to scroll back up. David, just come in, introduce yourself, and I will buy you some beers and some pizza, buddy. Thank you for all your stat checking on me. You guys have a great one. And this is Matt Verzal, Husker Hangover, signing out. We gone.